Hello and welcome to the IMBA Cup. We are in the losers bracket, which means one of these players is going to be eliminated. And in this one we got two very good ones. We got Voodoo, the finalist from the previous one, going with his familiar EF, going first land. And he is taking on Pebble. Attack Pebble also going first land, but going with Aeon. And of course on this map, pretty popular ranked map, there are these pools of water. And going Aeon with the auroras gives you a pretty big advantage, so we can see what Pebble is thinking. He's also got the flares. Might see some really good flare versus mech marine action. These two players extremely good with their light assault bots. See first two engineers coming from Voodoo, a little more defensive. But yeah, actually first three engineers. We should see scouts from Voodoo pretty soon. It's pretty amazing, but of course it's a little larger map, so perhaps you can make a few more engineers early on. So it doesn't look like Voodoo was expecting any air, because usually you want to get a scout out there. He's got 4 engineers and then he's going to make marines. We got these flares coming in from Pebble, however. See if they can pick off any of the engineers. Looks like they're splitting up. Gonna go after these mass extractors. Perhaps this one of these engineers was thinking about it. Of course this is pretty exposed, but that's where Voodoo is coming in. The way the map is shaped here, you gotta get around this little hill to get to this engineer. Looks like plenty of protection for the expecting engineer for Voodoo. Going back to Voodoo's base, he is getting his second air factory after a total of 6 power generators. Of course the Hydra here is pretty far away. Also some auroras with scouts. A very similar situation for both players, and now great defensive work there from the mech marines. 2v1, easy win. And then engineers, we're gonna see a flare versus mech marine. The engineer is targeted, but the mech marine from Voodoo successfully defends. So far great defense from Voodoo, saving all of his engineers. 2 dead flares for Pebble. Now we are seeing interceptors, so Pebble playing very safe here with those interceptors, not going first bomber, but actually both players going first interceptor. That was nearly simultaneous through the middle of the map. Some mech marines from Voodoo coming through. They're going to look for any engineers. Of course this is all civilians with no defense, plenty of mass to reclaim if you choose to do so. The ACU for Voodoo now moving out. Now a bit of this air fight that looks like Pebble is going to take, although it'll be very close. Be a very close air fight. More interceptors coming in now from Pebble, and a bomber from Voodoo. So it does look like this air fight is going to go Pebble's way. And some mech marines rolling through. Of course the flares together, an aurora together with a scout. It's very difficult for mech marines to even get close. If that scout wasn't there, then mech marines would definitely have a shot getting that kill. Some mech marines here from Pebble, perhaps expecting some auroras rolling through. And really the big thing that's happened in this game is air control has gone to attack Pebble, although we still have this bomber. Will be dead soon. And good mech marines, Voodoo's mech marines, have been excellent all game. So now in the middle we got Voodoo's ACU and some bombing actually. No, it's just an interceptor from Pebble taking out bombers from Voodoo just as they're made. So Voodoo's really got to take care of this air problem that he's got, because against Aeon, if you lose air, they have so many good T2 options. We just might see mercies and things like that. And here Voodoo making a mistake. There's a couple different buildings in this. Some of them are much more difficult to reclaim. You can see it's spending way too much time. You want to get these smaller ones, get a lot more mass much faster. And a pretty significant aurora force now building up. We see, actually yes, now Tech Pebble realizing he's 1 air, he's going Tech 2 air. Total of 5 land factories, a couple more planned. For Pebble, he's still at Tech 1 air, making more power, making more air factories. So Voodoo realizing that he does need air force. Still on 3 land factories, 4 land factories, and some good expansions here for Voodoo. Perhaps a bit of a land battle, but plenty of auroras here. Numbers for auroras. No chance for the strikers. Perhaps they'll get 1 or 2 kills. It's because the low armor on the auroras. Easy victory there for Pebble, although a few sneaky tanks will take an engineer, but that's really minimal damage. Nothing really left to build. And interesting, the ACU for Pebble Not going to the middle like Voodoo's. He's going to the side. He's going to try to secure all this area. So we're seeing these flares kind of carve for this map at an angle here, at a diagonal. Of course, Voodoo's ACU here completely exposed in the middle, and total air domination by Pebble, which means Tech 2 we are now seeing swift winds. So Pebble wants to make sure he keeps air. He's not going to go with any gunships yet, or Mercies. And what is this? This looks like a ghetto. No, that's a bunch of Auroras. We'll see where those are dropped off. This will be a significant base if Voodoo can build that up a little more. A lot of land factories planned. This Hydra is not capped, but it looks like it'll be a drop from Pebble. This will create problems for Voodoo. Good use of air control there from Pebble. And as expected, the Auroras making their way through the water, but actually taking out some engineers. Good Auroras there from Pebble. Now we are going to see a fight here up on this hill once these two groups of units get close, and it looks like some numbers here for Pebble, and they're a little more organized. This is the long stream of units from Voodoo. Elsewhere, still total domination, and this is that. I think that's actually a ghetto. Yeah, I was wrong. This is a really nice gunship from Pebble, taking out mask extractors, engineers, swift winds now, and with swift winds, no chance for Tech 1 interceptors from Voodoo. Voodoo retreating. He realizes he's in quite a bit of trouble with this air situation. And now gunships. And gunships against on such a spread out map, they're so much faster, and you cannot have flak everywhere. It's basically free kills for this gunship. Pebble really dominating. And you guys got one ghetto here, getting a lot of kills in those flares. And now more gunships. A nice attack over here from Voodoo. He's got a pretty good situation. Getting his 4th land factory. Got a nice force. He's going to take out a lot of mask extractors. Pebble's ACU is retreating. It looks like back to base. But here, gunships versus tanks. Gunships getting free kills. And this ghetto does whatever it wants, escorted by swift winds. Couple units going through the middle now for Voodoo here, minute 9. And we got to say, Voodoo's got to come up with some crazy ideas here. He does have a pretty good land situation, but it's very vulnerable against this air. He's got to solve it. He's got to get his own air. He's got to get a whole bunch of power, get a whole bunch of T1, perhaps go T2 land and get some T2 flak. I find it looks like this ghetto is taken out. But if he stays at T1 air and T1 ground, this Tech to air from Aeon is just going to dominate him. He won't be able to do much. Here's a nice Aurora attack. This is mostly engineers. This is big trouble for Voodoo. Looks like these Auroras will be able to run over the bottom of the map, and you can see map control shifting. Up on top, a nice attack from Voodoo, but we'll see. This group of gunships here will just massacre these. No answer from Voodoo to Pebble's air. And good pressure here as well. Very balanced game from Pebble, using both air and ground. He's just got enough ground to keep Voodoo honest and doing all the killing with his air. He's also got Tech 2 ground and making obsidians. And once Pebble gets obsidians and Tech 2 land, there's really no ideas for Voodoo. Voodoo's got a... looks like he's paused all his land factories. Total interceptor spam. His ACU's in the water hiding. Perhaps Voodoo is realizing he's losing this game. Because he's, you can see his map control just shrinking with attacking forces from Pebble taking over mask extractors. Pebble doing a good job expanding with engineers, grabbing his freshly won mask extractors. This is really the only good expansion base here from Voodoo. Got a whole bunch of Tech 1 land. But although we got to say that these gunships could probably take care of this problem pretty quick. Now Aurora is rolling through. They are going to cut Voodoo off from the entire right part of the map here. Total control. And all that Voodoo's got is a whole bunch of power generators. Going Tech 2 land, it seems. And there's only one Tech 2. He's actually going Tech 2 with another mask extractor. But it's not clear where he's going to get the mass to do this. He's moving out with his ACU. He's got to do something. He's trying to take on this land. Of course, this way he exposes himself to the gunships. Now some Tech 2 and Tech 1 rolling through, some obsidians through the middle. Gotta say, this has been very dominating here by Pebble. Played extremely well against Voodoo, who's He's looked good in every single game he played except perhaps this one. And you can see the gunships from Pebble taken care of. We haven't really seen Aeon dominate in this in the IMBA Cup yet. I think this is the first game where we've seen Aeon do so well. Here's a pretty large air force now from Voodoo, so he may not be done yet. He's going to try to take care of those gunships. He should be able to do so. All of these swift ones are very powerful. And now it appears that meanwhile the Tech 2 and Tech 1 run into Voodoo's ACU and he's killed here. Minute 13. A very dominating performance by Pebble, going with Tech 2 air, winning that early air battle. Remember, Voodoo made bombers before Pebble did, and it allowed Pebble to get that early air advantage. And eventually Pebble seized upon the chance, made Tech 2, made Swift Twins, really solidified his air advantage, and then gunships. And gunships stopped any kind of hope for Voodoo's Tech 1 land to capture any more of the map. And then Voodoo died. So hopefully people enjoyed this one.